This is my second attempt at starting this video because my stupid dog wouldn't stop barking. I want to talk about the problem of narcissistic people. Maggie has discovered that her mother and her sister are both narcissists. She discovered this through the counselor that she was seeing. Her counselor has a narcissistic mother, and so she's totally familiar with everything Maggie said, and she's like, yeah. Well, we did some research on the internet, on YouTube particularly, and yeah, we discovered that her mother and her sister both fit the general profile of narcissists. And I'm not talking about people that just, you know, ooh, I'm so wonderful, I'm so good looking, I'm so smart, blah blah blah. Not conceited, not just simply conceited people, although they can be conceited. It goes much deeper and much darker than that, to verbal abuse, sometimes physical abuse in some cases. In Maggie's case, it's all been verbal abuse. But through doing this research to help her, you know, heal from her mother and her sister, I discovered that my father was a narcissist. He was narcissistic, you know. I used to just think of him as, okay, well, he's from the South. He was from the South, him and my mother both. They grew up in the Bible Belt. And I think it's called the Bible Belt because people down there have no problem using belts on their kids. My dad certainly used a belt. Yeah, I think that's why they call it the Bible Belt, because belts are commonly used for beating people, for beating kids. You know, spare the rod, spoil the child, or don't beat them with a belt and they'll be spoiled, you know. Well, I got enough of that. Me and my brothers, I don't know about my two sisters, but I know that me and my two brothers were physically abused, particularly my younger brother. And my dad used the belt on us quite a bit, and when he wasn't using the belt, a lot of times he would threaten us. I mean, threaten, especially my brothers. His face would get beet red, you know, and he'd clench his fist and he'd threaten to put him through a wall or something, threaten to beat the crap out of him or something, you know. And I found out from my older brother David, years after the fact. I went to visit him and his wife in 2001 when he was still alive. Went to visit him in Texas, and he told me a story of how my dad, my brother had a problem wetting the bed, and so I guess you know, my dad, I don't know how many times it happened before my dad did this, but my older brother told me that our father took a belt to our younger brother and beat him until his back was bleeding. Beat him bloody, literally, and left him hurting and shaking and crying. And my brother told me that my brother was living away from home at the time. He was in college, and he offered my brother to take him away from there, to take my brother with him, but my younger brother wouldn't go with him. He wouldn't. And to this day, my younger brother, he won't listen to anything negative said about our father. And one of the two older sisters that I'm still in contact with. One of them is in Arkansas. We haven't had contact for over 20 years, and I don't care. But my other sister that lives here, she won't hear anything bad about him either. So anyway, our dad was abusive. He was a narcissistic abuser, and I know there were times that he, you know, beat on me with a belt. There was one incident I remember where he thought I was trying to run away from home, and he took my head in between his hands. He was really angry. He took my head between his hands, and he had me backed up to the wall, and he was bashing the back of my head into the wall, literally bashing the back of my head into the wall. And then when I fell to the floor, he was kicking me, and he started kicking me, and then I said I screamed, I'm gonna pee my pants. I'm gonna pee my pants. And then my mother told him to stop and let me get up and go to the bathroom, and I did. He stopped, and I went to the bathroom, and I came back out, and I sat in a chair, and he kneeled down in front of me, and he was shaking his fist in my face, and he got this close. He got so close that he actually hit me in the mouth. He was shaking his fist, and he actually hit me in the mouth. And whether it was intended or not, it happened. This is the kind of shit that I had to put up with from my father, that we all had to put up with from my father. He would fly into rages. He was a Jekyll and Hyde personality. Sometimes, when he wasn't being a complete asshole, he could be a pretty nice guy, even funny, loving, the kind of dad you would want to have. And then he would turn to this fucking monster, just a fucking monster, man. The one person who was always treated well was our mother. He put our mother on a frickin' pedestal. His children, not so much. Yeah. Mother was on a pedestal, the rest of us were under his feet getting shit on. So, this is a narcissistic type of behavior. I remember my dad always saying things to me, negative things to make, bringing me down to make me feel bad, and if he would give you unsolicited advice about something that you didn't feel you really needed advice about in the first place, then he'd get pissy, and he'd say, you just think I'm stupid because I didn't graduate from high school. I had to quit in the 8th grade. Well, I had to quit in the 8th grade because I had to take care of my family. It was the Great Depression, blah, blah, blah. This kind of bullshit. See, that's how the narcissist operates. It all goes back to them. It's always about them. Always. It always is about them. No matter what you're going through, it's always about them. And that was my dad. And that's Maggie's mother, and that's Maggie's sister. That they're just like that. And so I now realize that I have some healing to do. I have some emotional healing to do over this. I remember my dad telling me once that I never made a good decision. He told me that I never made a good decision. Well, Maggie and I are both making a good decision now, because we're leaving these people. We're cutting them completely out of our lives. Forever. My dad died in 1997. So that's all resolved and over with. That's gone. I don't have to deal with him anymore. I just have to, deal with the hurt that he left me. On the other hand, you know, Maggie's mother and sister are still here. And they're going to find out in 2 weeks' time, when we leave here for the last and final time, when we leave this fucking house and this fucking state. They're going to find out. We will have no further contact with them of any kind. Not even a frickin' birthday card, Christmas card, no phone calls, nothing. No contact whatsoever with these people ever again. And that includes her brother Danny, the golden child, the golden boy, his mother's precious boy. Fuck you, you know? Fuck him and fuck them. You know, that's all I have to say. And we're not going to talk to him anymore either. We're done with all of them. All three of them. And anybody else in this family that, you know, that supports them and thinks that Maggie and I are assholes, fuck them too, you know. We don't need them in our lives either. So, in 2 weeks' time, we're all done. We're out of here. We're gone for good. Those people are out of our lives for good. And Maggie and I, this is going to bring us even closer together, I think. Both of us having had narcissistic, toxic people in our lives, parents, a sister, having both been through that separately, you know, in our own families and together in this one. We're done with these people. You can't get them to see anything. They don't want to be helped because they don't think there's anything wrong with them. No matter what they do, no matter how cruel they are, and I mean cruel, really cruel shit that comes out of their mouths, they'll be cruel to you and then laugh in your face. They'll be cruel and hurt your feelings and then laugh in your face for having hurt feelings. That's the kind of people these people are. They're sick. They're really mentally ill. And there's nothing you can do about it. You know, with an alcoholic, at least you can get them to see that they're drinking too much. You know, maybe you can get them to see that. With these people, no. To them, their behavior is normal. It's perfectly normal. It isn't perfectly normal, trust me. Anybody that watches this video, I want to tell you now, if you have people like this in your life, get the fuck away from them. Get away from them, cut off all contact, and never speak to them again. Because if you don't, they will destroy your life along with their own. They will take you down with them. And they will blame it on you. They will take you down with them and then blame it on you for their downfall. You know, you don't need that shit. If you have narcissistic people in your life, get the hell away from them and cut them out of your life, just like a cancer. Just think of them as like a cancerous tumor, and cut them out of your life. Cut them out, because that's the only way you're going to survive. We're putting 500 miles between us and them. We're going to change our phone numbers. We're not going to give them our address, our new address. We're going to lose all contact with these three people. So, and we may lose contact with everybody else in the family, whatever, you know. But Maggie and I both have a lot of pain to deal with and to work through. So, like I said, that'll bring us even closer together. And, well, that's all I have to say for now. This video's run kind of long, so like I said, anybody that watches this, if you have these kind of people in your life, please, for your own sake, maybe even your own safety, get the hell away from them and cut them completely out of your life, or you will regret it. Believe me. This is Chris. Wishing everybody peace and signing out. Bye.